Welcome, everybody. I'm really happy that you're here with me. And this is a webinar that I've ran before with a slightly different title, and I wanted to run it again because it's a subject very close to my heart, and I just wanted to share it with a little different slant. And, letting go, in my opinion, is a lifetime of work. So you can never listen to enough webinars on letting go or read enough on letting go, in my opinion. So those of you who are on the call just before 1 o'clock would have read this quote from Mary Morrissey, and I'm just going to read it to you again. So you can close your eyes and really take this in as you listen to the words. Even though you may want to move forward in your life, you may have one foot on the brakes. In order to be free, we must learn how to let go. Release the hurt, release the fear. Refuse to entertain your old pain. The energy it takes to hang on to the past is holding you back from a new life. What is it you would let go of today? So I hope that gives you some good food for thought. And just to make sure that you are in the right place, I'm sure you are, but just to remind you what we were covering here, and to remind the people also that will be listening to the recording. You are in the right place if any of this resonates with you. If your current reality is far or even a bit away from the lightness that your soul craves. If you are experiencing challenges in your life that cause you significant stress. If there's an event from the past that is still eating at you. And I put in brackets despite working on it, because I even find it myself that I have to revisit sometimes. I'll get a sting again or about something that I've worked through already. If a difficult person or situation is making your life miserable. And or if that voice in your head feels more like an enemy than a supportive friend. That mind that actually I love to refer lately. If you're in my Facebook group, you'll hear me referring to this book a lot, The Untethered Soul by Michael D. Singer. And he describes so well this mind and this voice. And, he says at one point, I laughed out loud, actually, the way he describes it. But, if it was a friend, if that voice in our head was a friend, we would have dumped them a long time ago. Because it changes its mind so easily. And it's very interesting. So we're going to get to know that mind a little bit today too, over the next hour. And also you're in the right place if you are interested in learning about the work of Byron Katie, because that's the primary tool that I use and will be sharing today. So just before we get into that, I'd like to share a little bit about me. Not much, I want to dive in, but first of all, I should explain my name. Those of you who don't know me, it's spelled Niamh. And it's pronounced Niamh, Niamh, like Eve with an N in front. It's an Irish name, and that's how it's pronounced. So, yeah, my name is Niamh. My married name is Kurumita Medjo, who comes from my husband, which is an ancient Indonesian name. And I had a lot of pain. I can definitely resonate with, and I think there's not many people in life that do escape that, growing up and in my early 20s. And I did was always interested in personal development work and, really always believed, why suffer if there's ways out of it, and there's books that will tell us, or people will tell us ways that they found that have helped them, why not? We've only one shot at this life, so why not make it the best? So that's basically what happened to me with the work. I found it through a friend who was going through a really, really difficult situation in her life. And I couldn't believe how amazingly she was handling the situation. Basically, her husband had left her with 2 young children, and she wasn't experiencing the bitterness and resentment that I had expected, or the strong anger. And she had worked through it a lot using the work of Byron Katie. So that's what got me really curious, even though I must be honest, when she shared it with me, I thought, that sounds a bit, that's not too exciting. And then I just because of her, because I saw the transformation in her, I began to implement it, and my life dramatically changed. So I've been practicing it now. I became a certified facilitator about 4 years ago, and I've been practicing it about 7 years, 8 years. And yeah, absolutely love it. I started a coaching company in 2012 called Manage with Clarity, and I work with private clients and also run group programs. And speaking of which, stay tuned for a reward at the end. It's something to do with the group program for those of you who stay on till the end. Okay, so actually, just before we dive in, I do want to read Michael Singer. I want to read a chapter, just a little bit of chapter 8 from his book, Let Go Now or Fall, it's called. And just want to make sure that you can all still hear me. If there's anything, if you've got any comments or anything, and welcome to the latecomers. My sound is cut. I cannot get it. I see my sound is cut. Can everybody hear me okay? Michal, you're saying that the sound is cut. Yes. Thanks, Angela. Thanks, Bettina. Okay. Sorry about that. Not sure what that is, Mirai, in case that you continue to have problems, there will be the recording. Okay, so thanks, Adam. I'm going to read some of this. I could honestly read the whole chapter, but I tried to find something just relevant to our call today about letting go. Basically, the reason that we don't want to let go is fear of whatever we're believing. We'll talk about that. Actually, you know what? We can even move to that in the next slide. These are typical fears about letting go. You can see it on your screen. If I let go, my need for them to know I'm right, if it's letting go of being right, for example, they will win, they will use it against me. If I let go of this relationship, I'll feel desperately lonely, even though I know it's for that I should let go of it. If I let go of trying to gain others' approval, no one will like me. If I let go of my need for justice, I will be weak and taken advantage of. That's a common one, that if we let go, we'll be walked over, which is not the case at all, because when we're working out of our true nature and we're grounded and confident, we can move forward with clarity, but without the stress. Or if I let go of my need to reach a certain goal, I will just never reach it. Without that pushing and that stress, I'll just never get there. These are common fears about letting go. And so Michael Singer talks about that, and I'm just going to read that. So if you like, you can close your eyes to take this in. He says, people don't understand that fear is a thing. It's just another object in the universe that you are capable of experiencing. You can do one of two things with fear. You can recognize that you have it and work to release it, or you can keep it and try to hide from it. Because people don't deal with fear objectively, they don't understand it. They end up keeping their fear and trying to prevent things from happening that would stimulate it. They go through life attempting to create safety and control by defining how they need life to be in order to be okay. This is how the world becomes frightening. This may not sound frightening, it may sound safe, but it's not. If you do this, the world truly becomes threatening. Life becomes a me against it situation. When you have fear, insecurity, or weakness inside of you, and you attempt to keep it from being stimulated, there will inevitably be events and changes in life that challenge your efforts. Because you resist these changes, you feel that you are struggling with life. You feel like this person is not behaving the way they should. We're going to work on that today. And this event is not unfolding the way you want. You see situations that happened in the past as disturbing, and you see things down the road as potential problems. Your definitions of desirable and undesirable, as well as good and bad, all come about because you have defined how things need to be in order for you to be okay. So I could continue. I'd highly recommend reading this book. It's just gold in there where he talks about letting go. And if you've got any comments, or if you found that useful, or if you had any aha moments, just type it in the chat window and let me know. Or if you found that it resonated with you. Yeah, with me too. Okay, so on that note, let's get straight down to, can you type the name of the author? Sorry, Angela, it's Michael, Michael A. Singer, and it's called The Untethered Soul. That's the name of Sindel. That's the name of the book. So it should be in your chat window. Yeah. Oh, and Ada is saying to post the page. Yeah, sure. Actually, that's a good idea, Ada. I'll post it in the Facebook group. Yeah, it's on page 72 of the book. So I'm glad that you liked it. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, and by the way, just to refer to that, where the very first thing that Michael Singer says that I read out, that you can do one of two things with fear. You can recognize that you have it and work to release it, or you can keep it and try to hide from it. And the most common reaction, because we know no better, is to try to hide from it. And what I've discovered, like the number one thing that really helps me when I work with clients and helps me personally, is to recognize I have it and work to release it. And I start by breathing into it, finding that sensation in the body and just being with it. And if that's interesting for you, I have a meditation that I can send you. You can let me know on SoundCloud to practice doing that. Because getting comfortable with those uncomfortable sensations is freedom, really. When we have nothing to fear about those sensations, then and we can be with them, we'll feel a lot lighter. Okay. So what I would like you to do right now is to think about a situation in your life where you feel angry, irritated, disappointed, annoyed, or frustrated with someone, and complete these two sentences. I'll give you a few minutes to do this, just to really think about whoever came in your mind just now that you're upset with, and why you're upset with them. And when you write your because, the reason why, just keep it short, and you don't have to go into deep explanation. Just, get to the real, the one thing that they've done. Because they bullied me, because they were unkind to me, because they get too angry, because they have angry outbursts, because they ignore me. And find a specific situation where that happens. Link it to evidence. If you have any questions, type them in the chat window. A common question I get is, can I do this on myself? And I would advise, if you're new to the work, not to. It's easier to understand it if you point it out to somebody else. Although it is possible to do the work on ourselves. Okay. And when you're clear about number one, who you're angry with, then the second question. This, by the way, is an excerpt from something called a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet that you'll find to download on thework.com. I'll give you the link to thework.com at the end again. And I'm just, in the interest of time, just doing just a small part of that worksheet. And so the next part of that is, I need, whatever their name is, to, and here I want you to write how you need them to show up, how you need them to be. So, for example, if they're being unkind, I need them to show up as kind towards me. I need them to show up as what? If it's somebody that's deceased, you can still do it on them. You can do it on the past as well. Okay, so I hope I've given you enough time to think about that. And that's something that we're just setting the intention of to work on this webinar and to let go of. Okay, and by the way, it's like an onion that we can peel. You know, we might just peel one layer of it today. And, you know, if it's a deep story with a lot of layers to it, then just set the intention to remove a layer of it today, if not the whole onion. Okay, so for this work, it's very important to understand that we need an open mind. Our minds are by nature, they're fixed in knowing, you know, we know that this is black and this is white, and this person's nice, this person's not nice. We label situations, this person's good, this person's bad, etc. And just for this time that we're together, and when you're doing the work, it works best with an open mind. You know, when it's not just when it's willing to see things from a different perspective, even if it feels strange. Okay, so what we're going to do is work the belief, I need them to show up differently than they are showing up. Okay, whatever your belief was on there. And I would love for somebody to volunteer to work through this with me. If you would like to let go of that, then the best thing you can do is volunteer right now to be facilitated. And let go of your fear of being exposed right now. So you can either type in the chat window that you're volunteering, or you can put your hand up. I've got a shy group today. Oh, brilliant, I don't. I have in the chat window, Bettina. Thank you, Bettina. So I'm going to unmute you. Hi, Bettina.
Hi, Nick.
Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you.
So now, Bettina, I'm confused, first of all, because do you go by Bettina or Jamila?
I can go Jamila.
Jamila. Okay, yes, I'm remembering that you've got two first names, Jamila. Okay, so Jamila, what did you write for your situation where you need somebody to show up differently than they're showing up?
It's a situation which happened just lately.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a room, and like a host, in like a hotel, but it's a private apartment, and I had rented one room, and the lady is a very nice lady, and I am in my room and she's outside. I hear her outside the room for a long time, kind of doing things, and I'm in my room and I want to pray, and I feel very much irritated. I get so much fear and anxiety that she might enter the room and see that I'm praying.
Right.
And I'm with this. It feels like a panic to me.
Okay. And
I don't get of this feeling. I would like, because I like her very much, this woman.
Right.
And
okay.
Yeah.
And just to get clear on it, Jamila, what is it what are you believing that if she did come in and saw you praying, what do you think?
See that I'm praying.
So that she would judge you about that, or what is it that's bringing up the fear?
She doesn't know that I am a Muslim.
Right.
And I don't normally. I am also very afraid to say this now. I am afraid people would recognize me and think, or I just don't tell them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for your courage.
Tell the name and yeah, like this. And I don't want people to think badly about me, about Islam and all these things. I just want to leave it out of their life.
Right. Okay, so how would you want her to show up then? As I need her to show up as Actually, if she was to enter the room, how would you like her to be?
I don't want her to enter the room.
Right. And just for the purpose of this exercise, where we're looking at needing them to show up differently, how about we imagine that she does enter the room, and how would you need her to be if she did enter the room? Because the
I
exercise we're doing is looking at how our belief when we need somebody to be different than they are. So do you imagine that she would judge you if she?
I wrote down that I need her to respect my privacy,
I need her to,
and um, I
right.
need her not to be curious.
Okay. Okay. So, and had you let her know already that you not to disturb you, or you hadn't said anything?
No, I just normally nobody opens the door, but it's something I fear.
Yeah, yeah. How would it feel
I
to you? Go ahead, Jamila.
Yeah, I even feel she will never do this, but there's this fear in me, and I really get this feeling, and I get in contact with this fear in this moment. And my door was it was not locked, but I was in my prayer.
Right, right. So, how would it feel, Jamila, if I suggested that we work? I need her to not judge me, to show up if she, I need her not to judge me if she sees me praying. Do you have that belief also? Because imagine if she did enter the room, what belief would you have then?
She would she will get I see her being shocked.
Right. So, I need her to not judge me. She's shocked because you think she's judging you. Would that resonate with you?
No, I think
I
she
need
will
her.
have fear.
I need
She
her.
will she will maybe think I'm yeah, like people think of like a terrorist or something, and I something like this, that she would think badly about me.
Okay, right. If it's okay with you, just for the purpose of this call, because I think it will be easier for people to find also a situation where they believe somebody's judging them in their lives for different reasons. That if they knew this thing about me, they would judge me. Yeah. So you're at that time when you're praying in your room, you're
Yeah.
believing if she knew this thing about me, she would judge me. That's why you're believing I need her not to open the door. I need her to respect her privacy.
Yes.
Her privacy. Yeah. So just so that the others can follow along as well, I just want to check: can everybody that's on the call find a situation where they need somebody not to judge them? Yeah, that's what we're going to work. If that's okay with you, Jamila, I need her not to judge me about
Yes.
about my, and it's really for you, it's about my religion. Yeah, but
Yes.
I need I need them not to judge me. So, because what I'm going to do next, everyone, is we're going to do the work of Byron Katie, which is I'm going to share the questions with you, and I'd like you to follow along and find your answers also for your specific situation. Okay, so just type in a yes if you can find a situation also. I think most everybody can, where you need somebody not to judge you. If they knew that about me, they'd judge me, or they know that about me and they're judging me. Whatever it is that you can find. Yeah, I can definitely find a situation also. Okay, so you ready, Jamila?
Yes.
Yeah. So just imagine just being in that room and you're praying, and like you said, that if she came in, she would be shocked. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So just imagine that. And let's do the work. So you need her not to judge you about your religion. Is it true?
I don't know it.
Right. So can you absolutely know that it's true? For everybody that answered yes for the first question, for you, I think that's a no, Jamila. But for everybody else, can you absolutely know that it's true? And this is where the open mind comes in. Can you absolutely know that it's true that you need them, those people, or that person not to judge you? for your freedom, for your inner peace, for your lightness, can you absolutely know that it's true that you need them not to judge you? And for me, it would definitely be a no here. So, Jamila, how do you react? What happens when you're believing the thought that you need them, that you need her not to judge you, and she is, in your mind, you imagine that she is judging you? How do you react?
I want to push her out of a certain sphere of my life. I want to hide myself.
How does that feel inside you when you want to hide yourself? How do you treat you?
Oh, I just feel very fearful. I, I feel fear of exposure
Yeah,
very much.
yeah, yeah. And how do you treat your wants and your needs and what makes you feel good? How do you treat all of that in that moment when you want to hide yourself?
I push it into a corner.
Yeah. How does that feel to push that into a corner?
Very, very narrow. And very much afraid. It's like it's like a very big power pushing onto me.
Yeah.
I feel very tiny, tiny and vulnerable.
And notice how you treat the lady when you're believing, I need her not to judge me, and you imagine her judging you.
Oh, yeah, I have this feeling I'm doing wrong to her because I'm pushing my thoughts onto her, and for this I feel ashamed,
Mm.
very much ashamed because I love her so much. When I see her, I feel so wonderful about her, and just having these thoughts that she might enter the room and that she might think or be shocked is I put something onto her which is very painful for me.
Yeah. Where do you feel that in your body, Jamila? Where do you feel that pain, that shame, and that making yourself small and fear?
It feels like three rings. It's like an iron ring about my around my body. It's like on the belly and on my heart and on my throat.
Yeah. So it's like blocking.
Yes, it's like very tight
Yeah. Yeah.
and painful.
Yeah. So I invite you just to take a few moments, and everybody else that's listening, to just locate where you feel that sensation or that pain in your body, and just take some time to breathe into it and just be with it. Just allow it to be there. It's like Michael Singer was talking about, working through it instead of avoiding it. So you're just relaxing right now and breathing into the area where you feel the pain. And just give it space, allow it to be there. Don't try to get rid of it. Just have some kindness towards that shame and that fear, and some compassion. We're honoring that part of us, not beating ourselves up for having it. And how does it feel, Jamila, to breathe into those areas?
It's kind of softening up. I can breathe more freely.
Yeah. So, Jamila, is there any peaceful reason to hold on to the belief, I need her not to judge me?
No.
So, imagine her coming into the room and noticing, and she seems surprised. And who would you be without the thought that I need her not to judge me in that moment?
Well, I would definitely have less fear.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so irritated.
And what do you think you might say to her if you no longer have that need for her not to judge you?
Maybe I would say that I'm sorry that I didn't tell her in advance. And that I will do my prayers and that I need my privacy in that time.
Yeah. So, how are you treating you in that moment?
When without the thought, without this,
Yeah, when you're honoring what you want, what you need to do, like you said, you needed your prayers.
I'm empowering myself to speak out for my needs.
Yeah. How does that feel?
Yeah, feels good. In the moment, that makes me sad, but it feels very, very good. It's kind of like tears coming to my eyes, and at the same time, it's like laughing.
Mm. Sounds like it's what your soul wants,
Yes.
that freedom.
I started the next night. At least I locked my door. This was my first step. And the second was that I just said yes, I want to do the sharing with you now, exposing myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's turn the thought around.
Yeah.
So the original thought is, I need her not to judge me. So let's turn it around to yourself. I need me not to judge me. How could that be as true in that situation, Jamila, that you need you not to judge you when you're praying?
I need me not to judge me that I have this fear.
Yeah. Yeah. How does it
That
feel to be kind to that, to honor that fear?
it feels like respecting myself and open to listen to my needs. If I don't judge me, if I just let it, just honor it, I don't need to judge. I need me not to judge me.
Yeah.
I need me not to judge me in the way that I tell me I should be open. I should leave my door open and I should be open to everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything can hurt me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And what if you couldn't believe that they were judging you? What do you think it might be that's going on for them if they were to see you praying or to know that you are Muslim?
Maybe they would be interested even to want be curious, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this feels a big relief. I've just gets off my body.
Yeah, I think there's a few more beliefs there, yeah, related to, that even to question that they're actually judging you.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't let them free in my mind. I put it already on. And this is also judging me that I do this. I judge myself that I put a print on the people.
Yeah. The mind just does the best that it can.
Yes.
Sometimes we can't take it too seriously in its efforts to figure everything out.
Ooh, yes.
Mm. Yeah. So let's turn it around to other. So instead of I need her not to judge me, it's I need me not to judge her. We're changing around the two subjects here.
Yes. I think I did this already. I
Yeah.
need I need me not to judge her. Yes, that's what my soul is calling me. It's like I really don't want this. I really don't want this, and it's good that I work on it.
Yeah. So again, what do you think might be happening for people that do judge religion or that do judge different races or differences, basically, any differences that do judge poor people or rich people? What's going on
Yes,
for them when they judge people that are different?
they get afraid,
Yeah. Fear.
fear.
Yeah. Yeah. So knowing that, does that help you not to? I need me not to judge her. Um,
Yeah.
if you could see that it was fear, does that feel
Yes,
different?
it sounds familiar
Mhm.
because I have this fear.
Yeah.
It makes me feel this fear. All this putting an image onto her makes me feel this fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can even hear what her thoughts be,
Yeah.
you
What do you
know.
think her thoughts might be?
Yeah, like terrorists come into my house and yeah, that's all what's going on in media, in the
Yeah.
media.
Yeah. That would be
Yeah,
another thought to question. She thinks I'm a terrorist.
yeah,
How do
yeah.
you react when you're believing that thought, and how do you treat you and your religion and your praying when you're
Yeah,
believing that she
I
thinks you're a
treat
terrorist?
myself. I treat myself like this,
I hide.
and I know I'm not. This
Yeah.
is it's
Yeah.
it's like a big fight inside myself.
So who would you be without the thought that she believes you're a terrorist or that she thinks you might be a terrorist? Who would you be without the thought that she could ever think that?
Then I'm a terrorist to myself.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It's a big call for myself to let go of that.
To let go of that belief. Yeah. Yeah. I would definitely work that a little bit more and find the turnarounds, the real evidence of why she thinks you're not a terrorist or why people in general don't believe that every Muslim is a terrorist.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's get back to this belief where the other turnaround, Jamila, is the opposite. So instead of I need her not to judge me, how could it be as true? The opposite, we said instead of I need her to, it's I need her not to, it's I need her to. How could it be as true that you need her to judge you for your freedom, for your inner peace, for your growth? How is it as true that you need her to judge you?
Yes, I need her to judge me in order to learn to have this experience and to get a clear mind about myself
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and to stand for myself and what I'm doing and what I'm decided for in my life
Yeah.
and how I treat myself. So
Right.
I need this happening to me in order to get clear about it.
Yeah. So you can work through it, right?
Yes.
We need challenges in order to grow.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I love to share with clients sometimes is to imagine it like a training camp for the
Yes.
soul.
Yeah. I
So
feel.
it's part of that training camp is her showing up as judging you, and to be able to really go back to the work and work through
Yeah.
any thoughts, any stressful thoughts around that.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other gift in it of why you would need her to judge you?
Yeah. It's like then I would be more open to really listen what she would say,
Mm.
find a resonance in myself where I'm doing this.
How amazing to be able
Yes.
to listen and hear that.
Yeah. It's like my ears get very open and I can really listen to the words what she would say without interpretation or
Defense.
putting my image on her.
Yeah.
Yes, there wouldn't be anything anymore in between. I would be just open to listen.
Yeah.
I feel very clearly now. It's like my ears are opening.
Yeah. Can I offer one?
Yes, thank.
So, what is it that you feel when you're praying? What does it give you?
It's when I'm quiet, when I have this, I come in touch with this silence,
And what does that
and
give you? Go ahead.
it's a finding this connection in my heart, and just it's like this listening. It's like listening and in connection
Connected with yourself.
with myself. Yes,
And how does that feel when you feel connected with yourself when you're praying?
it's just wonderful. It's just very peaceful.
Yeah. And how would it feel to be able to share that? I need her to judge me, and for me to remember why I do this and honor it and be able to
Yeah.
share it.
Then my prayer is growing. It's growing far. Then everything kind of gets into the space, and I can listen and resonate with it. Yes, feels very. Then it doesn't feel like in a corner. It feels like going very far.
Space,
Peaceful,
lightness.
peaceful, and embracing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah, how does it feel to give yourself full permission to just experience what your heart is desiring?
it's wonderful. It's very, very, very peaceful. I feel now it's very, very, very nice and easy. It's easy. It feels like very easy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
But
reality is always much kinder than our mind would have us believe.
it feels natural.
Yeah.
It feels very natural now. Yes.
Thank you so much, Jamila. I really
Thank you.
appreciate. Thank you for your courage and for sharing that. I think that will help a lot of people.
Thank you so much, me.
You're welcome.
And I even remember your name
Yes,
and how to spell it.
that's uh, that's a
Me.
lesson. Yeah, a lesson in the Irish language. Okay, I'm just
Thank you.
gonna put you back on mute. Thanks, Jamila.
Thank
And if anybody has any questions about that or any comments, if they'd like to share, um, please put your hand up, or if you want to speak or type your message in the chat window. Transform my fear and separation to connecting with myself and also with that lady. Ada said, thanks, Ada. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about when we're vulnerable and when we share, it's so connecting. I'm a big fan of Brene Brown and The Power of Vulnerability. That book, it's really very connecting to be open, to open up like that. Sending lots of hugs to Jamila, says Renee. Thanks, Renee. Okay, so nobody has any questions on that process. That was just really an introduction to the work. There's such fantastic free resources available at thework.com. So if this is something interesting to you, I really recommend you go there. And there's lots of free videos, and also in my Facebook group, which I'll talk about it just in a few minutes, is where you can come to ask any questions also about the process. And Karen says, loving this. Hey, Karen, you made it. I'm so happy. And I'm so happy that it's resonating with you. This is really powerful work. Okay, so how to stop needing the situation to change. So for those of you, and I hope that you managed to work through a little bit what your situation was, but just make a list now of the feelings that you think you would have. So for example, I'll just share with you now, sometimes I have 3 children, and sometimes I need my child to behave differently than they're behaving. Or somebody who's annoying me, I need them to just be friendly or be nicer or see things the way I see them, basically. So just take a moment and write down at least 3 different feelings you think you would have if they showed up differently in that situation. You can type them actually into the chat window if you want. For me, I would say, if it comes to my children, if I want them to show up differently than they're showing up, I would believe I would just I'd feel safe, basically. My world is easier. I'd feel safe. I'd feel more secure, and I'd feel more connected to my child, who's basically cooperating. But yeah, safe actually is that, when our world is going the way we want it to, it feels safe. But it's also very stressful, because if it's not going the way we want it to, then it's very constrictive. Okay, so the second part of this exercise, now that you've made a list of those feelings, because basically that's what it's all about, we want to feel happy, we want to feel good. So if somebody or something in our lives, if our reality is basically not showing up the way we want it to, then we hurt. And instead, let's look at a different way. Is there another way that you could get those feelings on the list that you've just written without needing that person or situation to be different than it is? Think about that, because that is where your freedom lies. That's where empowerment lies. We're forever a victim. If we're needing somebody to be different than they are, to show up differently than they are, we're a victim of that situation. We get our power back by accepting that, letting go of the need for them to be different, and finding another way to get our needs met. So if you'd feel safer, find another way where you could feel safer. For me, it's letting go of my child to be a different way than they are. Being open to that. It's much kinder. Yeah, we feel much more. Yeah, Julie says would feel more relaxed, less tense and peaceful. I guess that's your answers to the first question, Julie. So find other ways. And, this is something maybe that takes longer and more deeper thought to think, how realistically, we want to be practical. Could I find that another way to feel relaxed, less tense and peaceful? And what I can offer is, you've just seen how Jamila got to feeling relaxed, less tense and peaceful through doing the work. So for me, that's how I get it, which is fantastic, because I can get it from me, just from answering questions without needing the external situation to change. Okay. So what I wanted to share with you, we've just got a few moments left, and you can continue. Actually, sorry, there is just before I share this 6-week program that I'm going to be running. Ada says, what to do with all these projections? So I guess you're talking about, Ada, the projections that we make on other people. And simple answer is do the work on them, to identify them one by one. When you're projecting and you see somebody else as they will judge me or they're mean to me, is to get a one belief at a time worksheet. That's something that's available at thework.com, and question it, or work with me, or work through it in my 6-week program. Actually, that's the best answer I can give you right now, since I'm going to share with you what that's about. So this is a 6-week program that actually I was supposed to start it today, to be honest, originally. And I'm just, I've changed the content around. I'm getting feedback on it, and because I really want it to be the best that I can offer, the best possible offering that I can make. So, and the intention that I have is to help you to get free from your self-doubts, fears, stress, and bitterness, so that you can live in that place of lightness, confidence, peace, freedom, and joy that you deserve. I'm definitely not going to promise that at the end of this 6-week program that you'll be all the time in that state, but a lot more of the time if you do the work and show up for the program. I definitely think that there will be shifts for sure. I've seen it with myself and with so many other people. So let me just share with you a little bit about what those 6 weeks, what we're going to cover. It's going to be every Tuesday. They will be recorded, by the way, if you want to attend and you're not sure of the timings. All the calls will be recorded. We're going to have a Facebook group for active support and partnering work also. So even if you can't make the live calls, it's still possible to get the recordings and to participate in the other ways on the Facebook group and with partnering work. So week one, we're going to really go into the work of Byron Katie, identifying and working through our most stressful thoughts, but it's going to be getting very familiar with the work, or if you're already familiar with it, deepening your practice. We can always deepen our practice. I just worked with a facilitator yesterday. I'm still a client of this. As soon as I get any belief that's causing me to contract, I call a facilitator. Week two, identifying and working through your anxiety. This seems to be a really topical at the moment for me. I'm noticing it with clients, and I nearly, I think I will run a webinar on this topic also. But when we're doing it in the group, we're going to share as a group and identify where and what is causing anxiety in our lives, and sleeplessness, and just that nervous feeling, and learn tools and really the top tool is breathing, to be with that and allow it and give it space, and at the same time being able to identify what's causing it and work through that. Week number three, something I love, and we just witnessed it a little bit with Jamila. It's approval seeking, when we're needing somebody to see us a certain way and we don't want them to see something about us, how that can hold us back, how that can stop us from just enjoying what we enjoy and being exactly the person that we want to be. It can really stop our freedom. So we're going to look at that in detail in week number three and work through that. Week number four, shifting anger and resentment towards people who have hurt you. That's a big one for us, and being able to own our pain instead of blaming, which basically is shifting from victim to empowerment. Week number five, it's in with self-love, out with self-sabotage. And we're going to be doing an exercise, which I love to do with clients, about how painful it is to be clinging onto that ideal self, which we never attain. And we're going to be looking at letting go of that and accepting the one that is us right now as we are. And week number six, which is the real key to freedom, is letting go and making friends with discomfort. Those feelings, those emotions that we don't like, the fear and the anger and resentment and shame, we put them away. Instead, we're going to be with them. Just like that famous poem from Rumi that is actually a file added on my Facebook page. If you want to go on my Facebook group and look at that poem, it's about letting in all those unwanted guests, and unwanted emotions. That's a game changer, I would say, when you can learn to be comfortable with those. Also a game changer for stopping addictive behavior, because what we want to, instead of experiencing those emotions, we tend to go eat sugar or drink wine. Nothing wrong with that, but within reason. When it becomes compulsive, then it's a problem. It's stressful, it's painful. So that 6-week program is $497. It is possible to pay in 2 installments if that's a stretch for you. You can email me about that. It's 2 installments of $260. And it's starting on March, in 2 weeks from today, 26th, I think, is it? The details are on my Facebook page, on my website also. So let me show you the links to that. Oh, before I do, I forgot, I did promise you for staying on the call, and thank you everybody for staying on, that you would get a reward. So if this is something that's interesting to you, the 6-week program, and I'm going to encourage you to just follow that instinct, and if it feels right for you, to email me with the subject heading $100 discount, because that's what you're getting as a reward for being present on today's call. My way of saying thank you. So that would be $397 for the 6 weeks. Okay, so I let you know also that thework.com, that was the link I was referring to for if you really want to get more familiar with the work. If you want to know more about me, my website is www.managewithclarity.com. And where I'd love to see you, if you're not already on there, is to connect with me in my Facebook group. I post something in there every day, and I love to get questions and comment on anything that's posted there. So please go to that link and click on Join Group. If you don't find it, just email me and I'll send you the link for it. So that's it. I want to thank you very much for attending. That photo of me reminds me that I need a haircut now. My hair is getting long. So if you've got any questions, just email me, niamh@managewithclarity.com. Again, thank you so much. I really appreciate your presence on this call today, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Bye, everybody.